Alright, BobalosRex here, and we're doing a lore rant. And from the title, you can already tell what it's about. It's about player housing. Now, you saw video one, my initial response, kind of. I've been thinking more, right? Because once we get, so we're gonna get here. I'm gonna lead into my theory, not my theory, but my dreams as I had them. Okay, so we're getting housing. We know a few things. We're gonna get neighborhoods. So to me, neighborhoods are like, okay, it's not a phased area, right? We think it's not phased, right? And it made me think of, like, you know how battlegrounds are, right? Um Nowadays we just zone into battlegrounds, right? But no, there's an actual portal in the world. There's an actual portal in the world to the battleground. You know what would be crazy now that I just thought of? What if you could use that portal to just phase in to that area, but like the battleground isn't there, but you can phase in and just like run around in it for like RP reasons. That would be interesting. But yeah, no, there's physical portals for all the battlegrounds, right? Just like for raids and dungeons. So it's gonna work like that. It's gonna be a little instance area between Durotar and Ashara, and you look right here and you're like, oh my god, I see it. It's gonna be like right there. All right, it's gonna be a nice little cool area right there. The first horde neighborhood gonna have your nice little area right over here. Oh, I can zoom in on this. But yeah, kind of like right here. How cool is that? It will help flesh out the world too, because everyone should know in game the world is bigger than the in game, the true world. And I think this goes a long way of fleshing that out, having these little neighborhoods. So the first horde neighborhood going to be right over here near Ogrimmar. And I think the fact that it's the first two are near Ogrimmar and near Stormwind show that we're getting it before midnight. Because if it was in one place, the place where we're going, then it'd be like, okay, that's a midnight thing. But no. We're getting in midnight pre-patch probably, but the first ones. So we're gonna be playing around with it before midnight. The first one, I think, are gonna be. So the first Alliance one's gonna be like right here. They talk about having touches of Westfall, Elwine, and then it had Stormwind in the background, and Duskwood. So we're talking about an area right here. So we're talking about a little instance version that's like right there, which is kind of where Hogger is. You know, you look right here. It's kind of where Hogger is. So that's interesting. And this idea of these little instanced areas of the map really, really got me cooking. And I was like, okay, they said they're going to add stuff as well. Housing is an evergreen feature, so our first houses are in these two areas, which to me, fine. And we're getting some cool theme stuff, you know? It may all be like basic Alliance, basic Horde, basic Human, basic Orc kind of styles, right? Imagine, right, we have housing now in WoW, the evergreen feature, the base. Human, Orc, Horde Alliance. That's the base, right? Every time they add a new neighborhood, a new home style, they add cosmetics for interior, exterior, themed as well, is kind of what I'm thinking. So when they add, let's move on to my next two, because if we're doing Horde and Alliance theme, if Blizzard does one faction home style, they have to do another. Okay, especially if it's locked on behind who can buy it factionally. Okay, they got to do one, they got to do the other. So, since that's all already established, my first thought was, what factions come next? And the two that I really thought that would be next, of course, in Midnight, elves. So I thought, okay, we get a Silver Moon themed home, Silver Moon, Sun Song, Eversong Woods style home neighborhood. All right, and for these, I did try to have multiple zone themes, since we see multiple zone themes, because we can think of a neighborhood as like housing here and maybe some cool like little area that leads down and then housing over here. So we can have maybe a city part of the neighborhood and then a path and then a more rural part of the neighborhood. So it's all one neighborhood zone, but it has two little parts, two aesthetics, which we kind of see with the Ogremar one. They're saying it's going to have a Durotar vibe and an Ashara vibe. So maybe it'll be sectioned in like the Durotar area, more area, and then the Ashara more area. Is kind of what I was thinking. We don't know yet. So I'm just like, I started thinking. So the first one would be Blood Elves, and then another good one I thought that would be perfect to match the Blood Elves. Though I did think, I guess they could do a Silver Moon and have a Void Elf themed neighborhood and a Blood Elf themed neighborhood, but I'm like, no. Since we've already established Horde characters can buy the Horde one, and then Alliance characters on your account can go in it, that doesn't matter. Alliance can have a Silver Moon home, just a Horde has to buy it. You see, so it's fine. So, Blood Elf home in Silver Moon, Night Elf home in Belameth. So we get a neighborhood in Belameth that kind of has Onaran Plain touches, maybe some Emerald Dream touches. But yeah, imagine a new neighborhood on Belameth. I think that would be cool. And then maybe you can actually, then Belameth would actually get some stuff built up around it too, as well as a neighborhood on it. And then, oh my god, why did I close that? So I thought of Blood Elves and Night Elves, Silver Moon, Eversong Forest neighborhood, Night Elves, Belameth, Emerald Dream, Onaran themed kind of neighborhood. And of course, like I was talking with aesthetics, then we get Night Elf housing aesthetics and that kind of stuff. So now we can design our house more with more Night Elf stuff, more Night Elf cosmetics, interior and exterior, as well as Blood Elf interior and exterior aesthetics. And I would hope, here's the thing, I would hope that my home in Ogremar, I can gussy up now with Blood Elf stuff, because I see this. When you think about a home, especially now with neighborhoods, you think about a neighborhood you want your home to be in, so you want the aesthetic you want to see around you, the neighborhood. The aesthetic you want your home to be on the outside, and the aesthetic you want your home to be on the inside. Okay, and I want them always to be adding to all three. New neighborhood, new exterior home decorations, new interior home decorations. Whenever they add it, right? It's got to be added all at once. And hopefully that's what they're thinking. All right. So, what do I have next? Because I cooked up so many homes. I am literally just going to list off all these home ideas. But that's the establishing idea, right? They had a neighborhood with homes themed, with areas themed after these zones. Okay, so this will be where you put your house. And I would hope that they add in interior and exterior decorations to match these now new areas that we are in, which would be super great. Okay, so let's go down the list. Horde. We already got... I want them to add Blood Elf. I'm hoping in Midnight we see... And I do think they're going to do factional ones first, but I was cooking. I kept cooking, okay? I kept cooking up and down the map. So, let's get to it. So, first one, Human for the Alliance, Orc for the Horde. Okay? Next, I'm thinking we get Blood Elf, Silver Moon, Eversong. Maybe a little Ghostlands. I'm not down with the Ghostlands. I want Ghostlands to heal, in my opinion. Or be given back to the Amani. There you go. That's how I feel. So, but I want a city. This neighborhood would be city, rural divide. Okay, you're going to see more that I think it'll be like. And then for Alliance, Belemeth. Again, maybe more interior city. Well, this one would be more aesthetics. Maybe more dream vibe, more normal Belemeth. Maybe a good view of the Dragon Isles from the neighborhood. Because remember, it'd be phased, so I'd imagine there'd be barriers around the little zone. But just, oh, I'm excited. But yeah, imagine it not like actually on Belemeth, but you go into a little portal and then you're in this fancy little neighborhood that's set in that area in the world. That neighborhood. I really hope we can have more houses than just one, two. And if it's a gold sink to have more than one, fine. Alright. Blood Elves and Elves. I've been sitting on these two. I've been sitting right at these two. Are you ready for the next ones? Because I'm going to start popping off now. So, Tauren for the Horde. I want Mulgore Barons. Okay? I want it to be themed Mulgore Barons. Basically, along here, okay? Maybe it's New Tarajo. The neighborhood of New Tarajo. And it's at the border of Mulgore and the Barrens, and you get that vibe of one part of the neighborhood overlooking... You can see Thunderbluff in the distance, and you're overlooking the mesas and this nice grassland. And then on the other side, you hear that Barrens music, and you're like, look at that freaking desert. And I guess it's South Barrens, sadly. The Barrens rift... Maybe we heal this rift at some point. But yeah, I guess you'd see the rift, but maybe you can see... You still get some of the vibes of the South Barrens away from the overgrowth, you know? Maybe it be down here, so you get more of the classic Barrens vibe, that savannah of the Barrens, you know? Maybe the thorns of Razorfin crawl in the distance. Because, dude, I hope some of these neighborhoods have good vistas, too. Because, again, I'm guessing we may be in a bubble. But you gotta look and not just see wall, but you see, like, a nice shot. But we all be like, okay, but we can't, like, run out there. But just a nice view. Because you want a home with a view. Alright. Okay. For Alliance, Dwarves. I thought of a nice... cool idea that incorporated all three in a way, but then it fell off. Like, there would have been an idea, like, theoretically, you can have a spot right here and kind of get a Dark Iron, Searing Gorge, Loch Modan, Dun Moreau thing. But I'm like, nah, if I want to do a dwarf, I want Iron Forge. I would want an interior section part in Ironforge and an exterior of Dun Moreau, maybe also Loch Modan or Wetlands. So more like here or here kind of vibe. Because I do think some dwarves would want to be in the city, in Ironforge. But then other dwarves would want to be out in the country, you know? And we're going to get to more options down the line. But yeah, so I linked Tauren and dwarves here. But again, some of these links that I'm going to go through, you could intermate match a couple of things. But next up for the Horde, I have Darkspear. Darkspear having the Echo Isles, maybe Sinjin Village. Like, it... Some parts be on the Isles, some parts be closer to Sinjin Village, maybe. Kind of neighborhood. Or just have it all on the Isles, and maybe have a vista of South Durotar. Or Barrens. Maybe a view of Ratchet. I mean, it is kind of far, but yeah, something on the Echo Isles for the trolls, Darkspear trolls, will be super good. And I also put maybe you do that interior, exterior, so an interior of the city of the Echo Isles, you know, because they should be building up by now. And then maybe a more exterior or more rural version, which would be in the jungles of the Echo Isles, which would be cool. Then we got gnomes. For gnomes, I made it simple, kind of like that. So for gnomes, you can do an exterior of Gnomergon, which would be basically New Tinkertown. That's what it's called, New Tinkertown. So you have an exterior part of the neighborhood, which would be New Tinkertown, in the cold snow, you know, maybe overlooking the lake. And then an interior of Gnomergon, retaken Gnomergon. Finally, it is about time. And then you give the gnomes a nice gnome neighborhood. Alright? That's going to be the best part. Of filling up these neighborhoods, you can do so much casual lore. Like, yo, this neighborhood shows that the gnomes have retaken Gnomergon. Oh yeah, the new neighborhood in Gnomergon? Yeah, the gnomes got it back. It's good. We good. Maybe there's a quest line to unlock it. That would be interesting if they have quest line unlocks for the houses. Then for Horde, I did Undead. We gotta talk about the Undead. Imagine an interior, exterior, so you have an interior in the Undercity. Part of the neighborhood, like rebuilt Undercity, interior part of the neighborhood, and then a part of the neighborhood that comes back out, and you're basically in new... I get it was called Capital Town, the original town, okay, but I'm calling it New Lordaeron, but basically, yeah, the interior would be of the Undercity, and then the neighborhood would lead out to this exterior of New Lordaeron. Maybe have a view of Silverpine, or be part of it be in Silverpine, and a view of that lake and Fenris Isle, I think would be cool. And then heading back over to the Alliance, the Draenei. Alright, now I was trying to think of a good spot, and I thought of a... Maybe... Oh my god. It's spoiling it! It's saying that's Outland. That's funny as fuck. Why can't I look at Azure Missiles? Yo, that's crazy. Okay. Okay, so... Imagine a part... I was thinking you could have a part in the Exodar, but... The Exodar is a ship. The Draenei deserve a neighborhood... I would honestly just want the neighborhood to be in the Azure Mist Isle, but maybe you have one in Azure Mist and partly in Blood Mist, or maybe it be along this border right here. But I thought ideally this area would be cleaned up. So maybe the new neighborhood is Blood Mist Isle, but done better. Like, not all red. Or something. But like I said, maybe people want the red. So maybe one along the line here. Or you do an interior of a city, like the Draenei actually build up a city around the Exodar, and then you have an interior of a city Draenei and more rural. Then we gotta talk goblins. So we are going to the Undermine, which is gonna be great. But the Undermine is actually under Kazan. Did you know that? I want to check something here real quick. If I use that now that I have that goblin, will it reveal Kazan to me? This is a big sidetrack, but it's going to be important. Oh, work. Nope. But anyways, there's an X tier. There, Undermine is supposed to be under Kazan, right? So maybe down the line in Midnight, we get a neighborhood that consists of. Remember, a neighborhood can be independent of the map itself. Because the idea would be we go into a portal where the neighborhood is, the entrance to the neighborhood is, which can be anywhere. It could be in Undermine, or it could be in Kazan, but we can't get back to Kazan, so it could be in Undermine. And then the neighborhood can be designed however the artists want. So imagine an interior of Goblin City part of the neighborhood, and then either a rocket way, or maybe this part of the city is... I guess the neighborhood would have to have like a rocket way, because it'd be part of the city, and then a side shoot, and then it leads to the top of Kazan. Or I would just love a neighborhood on the top of Kazan. You know, I just really want to go back to this area, and I think it'd be cool. So I imagine a goblin neighborhood either that would include the interior of the city Undermine, and maybe an exterior way to have Kazan. And then for Worgen, I think a neighborhood set along the Gilneas, Silverpine, and Hillsbrad area right here would be kind of cool. So you could have like the Gilneas, Silverpine, Dark, Dreary, but then maybe have a more open Hillsbrad part of it. And then I started moving that covered the base races for the most part. And then I moved. Why do I keep closing? And then I wanted to move into the allied races, of course. So imagine a neighborhood themed around Suramar City, and parts of Azuna. Dude, that would look cool. Then I'm just going to finish off the Horde while I'm here, because my next Horde allied race was High Mountain, and I thought of a cool zone, maybe along the border of High Mountain and Stormheim. So it'd have the High Mountain / Stormheim aesthetic. Again, these neighborhoods can cover a couple of zones, and I think that would be cool. And then I headed over to Zandalar. And for Zandalar and Kultiran, I do this for both, so I'm just going to mention these two now. I basically think of a neighborhood that's positioned that would give us the aesthetic of all three zones. So part of this neighborhood would be in Nazmir, in Vol'dun, and in Zuldazar. But if we get a Volpera one that's in Vol'dun, this one could be in Dazara lore and just have the full city, and then parts of the Zandalari neighborhood be interior of the city, and then the jungle, the rural jungle. And then maybe the Volpera one could be a mix of Vol'dun and Nazmir, so we could get a swamp vibe. Because it is kind of cool along the border here. If you've ever been along the border of Vol'dun and Nazmir, it looks really cool along the sea. And then for and then let's hop back over to Alliance. But I'm going to do the same thing for Kultiris. But for Alliance, I think a Shadow Forge City Dark Iron neighborhood would go really cool. And it could also go out and be a part of the Black Rock Mountain. So it'd be Dark Iron, Shadow Forge City themed, and exterior Black Rock Mountain themed. Dude. And then think about all the cosmetics that would come with it. Dark Iron cosmetics, Ragnaros cosmetics, dude. Oh my god, it'd be so good. Alright, then for Alliance, I also was like, yo, while we're in Kultiris, Mechagon. Mechagon interior, Mechagon exterior out here in the junkyard. Easy neighborhood. Or maybe just be full interior Mechagon and we see parts of Mechagon that we ain't never seen. And the portal for it be right over here, the Mechagon neighborhood, or over here. Boop. And then for Kultiran, I thought of a cool spot maybe you could do like along here that could capture all 3 zones. But hell, let's be real. Let's have a Borealis Storm Song one. Okay, that's literally almost attached to the city in Storm Song Valley. So you can have the rural Storm Song Valley and then a city Tiris Guard Sound one. And then straight up, listen. If they ever start selling single houses, Waycrest Manor house. Or maybe a Waycrest Manor neighborhood. Okay, the creepy witch neighborhood could maybe be all on its own. Okay, some of these I just feel like may need to be split, but you could have a neighborhood that has all 3. You know, that was my initial, but man, when I really think about it, dude. Yeah. And then here's the problem. So I gave Volpera's. I didn't really give Void Elves one. And then that's kind of where this idea of maybe Void Elves get a part of Silver Moon City they can get a house in. That would be mid-ID. Telogrius Rift could maybe be a house. Because some of these zones are really hard to put a house in if you think about neighborhood. Neighborhood is the key. Okay? That's why I try to merge zones and being like, what group of individuals would build here, and then that gives us exterior, interior, and all these designs, okay? So I kind of did all the main races of the Alliance and Horde, and I didn't have the neutrals yet. I do have the neutrals on this sheet, and I did fill them out, but this is when I started going down the list. I was like, what other, like, Horde and Alliance cities can I do along these continents? Okay? I'm going to get that to in second since I want to finish out these races. Okay? So, Pandaren? Dude, we could get it neighborhoods all over Pandaria, and that turned into its whole neighborhoods by expansion. How would you do it? Would you split it up? Would you add a couple of neighborhoods? Though the main one for the Pandaren, which would be the easiest one to do for the Pandaren, would be Wandering Isle. Right? You just hit up Wandering Isle, and that is the Pandaren neighborhood. The neighborhood on the Wandering Isle. Which could work. Which could work for the Pandaren. You could also have a couple on Pandaria. And I might as well go over the Pandaria ones right now while I'm here. So, I imagine one theme may be Valley of the Four Winds, Jade Forest themed. Maybe a little bit of Krasarang, but maybe not. Then you have a Vale of the Eternal Blossoms, maybe neighborhood on its own. If not, have it with Kunlai, or maybe have a Kunlai Town Long. I don't think we need a neighborhood in the Dread Waste, but, you know, you could. You could do boom there, kind of get a mix. Maybe you have a neighborhood along the Serpent's Wall. What? That'd be crazy. But you could really get into it. Shadowpan Monastery neighborhood. We can get crazy. But I definitely see at least 2 neighborhoods being formed. Maybe one down here and one over here. All right. I mean, we literally have to do like housing quests over here anyways. So yeah. All right. And then for Drakthir, or basically Valdrakken. Valdrakken, imagine housing. So if the Belemeth one kind of gave us a little bit of unarmed plains, then imagine housing up here, our neighborhood in Valdrassus. Maybe a little bit of Azure Span, maybe along the border here. You make a little neighborhood, like in the mountain range, along here. That could look sick. And then again, honestly, while I'm here, let's talk about it. In a little bit, I'm going to talk about class neighborhoods. Because I was really going wild. And you could see a neighborhood up here in the Forbidden Reach that's Kretch, that's Drakthir themed, Evokers, the Return of the Odor Halls. I was cooking on this sheet. Okay? But yeah, we got a couple neighborhoods that could be here. I got the Belemeth one already. We got one up here for the dragons. Maybe one over here for the Tusker. A Tuskar themed neighborhood. Imagine a neighborhood in Zaralek. Or that has some... Dude, the neighborhood in Zaralek would be cool if it was a part of Aberrus and Zaralek. Like, what? Crazy. That's when I started going through by expansion and just being like, where could I have a neighborhood with enough theme? Alright. Imagine the cosmetics we'd get from Aberrus too. Okay, but that would be way later. Okay? But again, for dragons, about Draken House. So that was all the races, right? But then, like I said, I started cooking, going down the map. Then I was like, class-themed neighborhoods. Do I think we're ever going to get class-themed neighborhoods? No, I was out of my mind at this point, but I still kept cooking. So now we're going to go down a continent. And I'm going to talk about neighborhoods. Let's go. Kalimdor, what's up? So we got Moonglade, Druid neighborhood, Winter Spring, Everlook, Goblin, Snow Goblin, Night Elf Ruin neighborhood in Winter Spring. Maybe a Dark Shore, Ashenvale, little bit of Fellwood, but Fellwood's going to be wood very soon because they getting the fell out of it. So maybe a whole neighborhood right here, nice and pretty. Night Elf's rebuilding in the northern Kalimdor, so we can get Darnassus too. Teldrassil too, because they're talking about it. Mount Halgel, maybe. Bilgewater maybe. Nah, I didn't really think. We already getting some goblin stuff here, but maybe they could do Bilgewater. Neighborhood, I wasn't really vibing it. Stone Talon, I ain't getting many houses right here, at least for a bit. I'll tell you where I cooked up. Dustwallow Marsh, no one want a house there. Thousand Needle, I was thinking though, Fairless though. That's when I was like, hold up. Dire Mall, Fairless, neighborhood, good. I already talked about the Dark Shore Ashenvale one. Okay. Goblins, Ratchet, Barons themed neighborhood. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. What else do we got over here? Ungoro, maybe. But when I was cooking for Hunter themed neighborhood, I was thinking maybe Ungoro, maybe Desolus. You know, Rexar was there for a bit. Maybe Fairless themed for Hunter. I mean, the Order Hall is somewhere else, but I already had High Mountain, but it could be in High Mountain. You know, but we'll get there in another zone. But I also think a cool neighborhood in Uldum, maybe along the border of Uldum and Teneris. But I think a neighborhood in Uldum would be great. Maybe near Ashkahet. Old God themed neighborhood. Yo! I'd like that now. All right, let's hit up Eastern Kingdoms. Where was I cooking here? So we already talked about the elf stuff up here. Maybe a Sunwell neighborhood. Once we get it back, because we know we're gonna get drama there. Zulaman themed neighborhood for the forest trolls when the horde get the forest trolls, bro. Amani troll. I said they in the horde, but I also said we could get an Amani troll, well, forest troll themed neighborhood here in the hinterlands as well. Oh man, they so far away from each other. Either way, Amani themed neighborhood for the horde. Sweet. Alright. Then I was like, yo, Scholomance undead themed neighborhood. Imagine an undead neighborhood in Scholomance. Scholomance 2, the neighborhood. Undead themed. So good. Okay? And you know what? Let's give the humans a Stromgarde neighborhood. I was like, let's give these dang humans a Stromgarde neighborhood. Why the hell not? And then I said, dwarves, get an Airy Peak neighborhood. Why the hell not? Airy Peak Hinterlands neighborhood. They need it for the dwarves. Alright? And then while I'm on this continent, then I was cooking up more, right? Then I was thinking classes again. Classes. Where the classes are. Lights Hope Chapel, Hearth Glen, maybe, you know, the ruins of the Scarlet Enclave, maybe the Paladins. Build up a neighborhood there. Neighborhood of the busted ass Scarlet Place, I guess. Neighborhood in Stratholme. I wouldn't want to live in Stratholme 2. I'd be very sus. Every day in Stratholme 2, if a blonde-haired prince came in, I'd be like, be gone. Go away. You ain't purging here, but a Hearthglen? Maybe we get Hearthglen 2 over here for the Paladins. I just think it would be cool as a Paladin-themed one. Where else? Up here? Oh, New Dalaran. New Dalaran for the mages. Ravenholt Manor neighborhood for the horde. Maybe it's Ravenholt / Durnhold Keep. And there's like a secret path. Yo, it's a rogue neighborhood with a secret path. Part of it's the exterior, you know, Durnhold Keep. And then there's a secret path into the more inner Ravenholt Manor neighborhood. Yo, I like that. Alright, yeah, we're just rolling down. So yeah, I talked about Stromgarde. I didn't really think of any housing here. I don't think we'd want to house up in Grimbatol. It's cursed, you know. You could do some dwarven housing here. I didn't really want it. I wasn't vibing it. Menethil Harbor, nah, not feeling it. Badlands, Searing Gorge, other than the Blackrock Mountain one, I wasn't feeling it. Redwidge, Swamp of Sorrows, like, no. Do I want a house in Temple, Sunken Temple? Maybe some people do, maybe. Maybe someday. Sunken Temple neighborhood. Alright, we know that temple had a ton of trolls in it. It could fit a lot of people in that neighborhood. But I wasn't feeling that neighborhood. So, here's the thing. I wasn't cooking a lot down here. But, then, of course, Booty Bay, South. You need a neighborhood in Stranglethorn. It could be neighborhood right along the Wild Shore, bro. Pirate neighborhood. So, and then part of it be troll. Boom. Zul'Gurub, the neighborhood. Love it. Down. But then I was like, yo, imagine a neighborhood that's part Karazhan Crips. You want to be in the nice part of the neighborhood with your house along... Because remember, this tower had like a little city around it. So the neighborhood could literally be... The center of the neighborhood could be the tower, right? And then you put your houses around the tower, and you can theme your house around the tower. Maybe you could make your house look like a mini version of the tower, right? And then theme it around the tower, and then one part of the neighborhood's on the top, and then you go down into the crypts, and it opens up into this, like, big underground mausoleum where you can put more houses. Why would you have a house in an underground mausoleum? I don't know. But why not? I don't know. I don't see why not. That's for the vampires. Okay, and the creepies. They want to live in the sewer house. Okay? Whew. Then I had like two more themed because I was thinking like where we go, and I was like, okay, so for Alliance and Horde, this is the last one on those lists. I had Tonkalei Village. Oh my god, that's not it. Tonkalei Village right over here. I guess it's Ice Mate. Which one is Tonkalei? That one. That's why I think of it. But basically, Ice Mist Village, Tonka neighborhood would be cool. And then for Alliance, while we're here in Last Titan, Frosthold, Frost Dwarves, Storm Peak neighborhood would be kind of cool. So that was all the faction stuff. And that stuff I thought was more likely. But then, like I said, I went cooking and cooking and cooking. So now we're in Northrend, so let's sit in Northrend. I'm gonna go expansion by expansion. You already seen a few, but Northrend. What did I cook up here? So neighborhood in Zuldrak. Frost Trolls need to rebuild. I'm for Frost Trolls rebuilding. Neighborhood in Zuldrak, Grizzly Hills. This one is fresh. I put Zuldrak. I didn't add the Grizzly Hills. But yo, Draktheron Keep. Kind of vacant. Kind of vacant. Maybe a new neighborhood. Alright, let's go. So neighborhood over here. Alright, maybe we get a neighborhood in the Alien Fjord. Maybe not. Maybe this one's themed all about that. Maybe this one's themed about that. Neighborhood in Nexus. Neighborhood in Sholazar. I want a DK neighborhood in Ice Crown, but I really cooked. I cooked up a great DK neighborhood, right? Oh my god, now I gotta imagine houses in it. I thought about living in some of these places, right? When I thought about Karazhan, I thought about being able to buy Karazhan. I didn't think about it being a neighborhood and putting houses. But now I kind of like, I'm fine with it. New Naxxramas. Big jumbo Naxxramas, and you got all the wings, and all the wings are repurposed for DK housing. Right? Or maybe a DK can purchase Naxxramas as their individual house. How great would that be? If we ever get to the point where we're getting individual houses, not neighborhoods, really there is no limit to the individual houses in this game, okay? I think I went too far beyond. But yeah, imagine a neighborhood along Ice Crown. That'd be good. I thought of like Argent Tournament grounds, so it'd be Ice Crown Storm Peaks. So you get Argent Tournament themed customizations. That was the initial thought, but now, see, this is why I do lore rants. I come up with stuff in the rant. In the rant. I come up with crazy shit. I've kind of already talked about Pandaria. So we're at Northrend. Now here's the thing. Do I see us building houses in Draenor? No. Warlords of Draenor is off limits until we deal with a situation. Okay, it's kind of hard to make a neighborhood in Warlords of Draenor that would fit in the lore. Could Blizzard technically do it? I guess. But Outlands. Do y'all want to know what I cooked on Outland? Let's go. I didn't actually have a Netherthorm theme. I didn't have a Netherstorm themed neighborhood, but you could maybe get a Blades Edge Mountain Netherstorm themed one, but I wasn't feeling it. Zanger Marsh, no. But when I was thinking of class ones, right, I did put a house in Shatrath City, Terracar. Interior city, exterior part, rural, part of the neighborhood, like it, clean. But then when I was thinking about class stuff, I was like, hold up. Shaman, Throne of Elements, neighborhood. New Garadar. Garadar fills out. New neighborhood there. You know, I was thinking that Hunters could have a Nagrayan themed neighborhood, I was thinking. But here was where I was getting Demon Hunter themed Black Temple housing. Remember when I complained? Do y'all remember when I complained about if you go here, if you go to Black Temple, right? You can't fly here. You can't. This is locked the fuck off, okay? Neighborhood. Unlocked by demon hunters. Again, you unlock it, once you unlock it with faction, with like that's what they're telling us. You unlock a thing as your alliance, your horde can use it. You unlock this neighborhood, Black Temple neighborhood, on your demon hunter, and then the rest of your people can do it, dude. Black Temple neighborhood. That's a neighborhood, man. I like that neighborhood. And then I thought of warlocks. Maybe you could have a Shadow Moon Valley themed. But then I was like, yo, Hellfire Citadel neighborhood for warlocks? Throne of Kill Jada though, maybe? What? I don't know. Like, you could do... Dude, imagine a vista of Hellfire Citadel warlock themed neighborhood. You and all your warlock buddies. Not that you have to be a warlock in the neighborhood, but most public ones would be full of warlocks. Because they would be the ones that unlocked it initially. And then in the background, you just see the dark portal, and you're like, yeah, warlocks did that, baby. That is so cool. And then you have warlock themed cosmetic unlocks. Like, imagine being able to make your front door the dark portal. Oh my god, I'm getting... Dude, I'm on some shit. I'm on some shit, dude. Holy moly, where are we going next? I already did North Rent. Cataclysm, already talked about a few there. Okay. I think I already mentioned some. Druid one in Val'Sharah. Moonglade would work. I already talked about a Suramar one. Some Stormheim crossover. So Broken Isles is done. Maybe Argus neighborhood? New Argus, new Antorus, and it's run by a bunch of recovering Eridar, and they're like, hey, we heard y'all need housing, we need money, we got this whole area that y'all kind of blew the fuck up. You can build houses there. Congratulations! Oh my god. Yo, the raid just becomes a neighborhood. I'm going too crazy. Oh my god. What did I do? What am I doing? I don't know anymore. Okay, I already talked about Cotiers. Okay, so all these are done. All these are done. Khazar. Okay, real quick. Khazar housing. Dornogal housing. Come on. Why is... We already have houses in Dornogal. I want a house in Dornogal. Maybe the neighborhood also goes underground. Maybe there's a little elevator in the neighborhood that takes you down to the Ringing Depths part of the neighborhood. Yo, and then they have a Hollowfall neighborhood. Maybe that's just themed by itself, and an Ashkahet themed neighborhood. And then maybe when we go to the new area, the World Core, whatever, the neighborhood down there? No. Well, maybe. But one in Ashkahet would be cool. Like an interior of the city. And then a rural one. You know, that kind of vibe I've been giving out here. And of course in Hollowfall, maybe along the farm. Maybe it's near Mereldar. It's like a part of Mereldar, like this part of Mereldar, and they build it out and we get a neighborhood there. And this could be like way down the line. This could be in like 15.0 when they start going back to every expansion, adding housing. Like at this, I'm adding so many houses at this point. This is when Blizzard is like in 17.0. You get a house, you get a house, you get a house. Like houses, neighborhoods everywhere. Hopefully we live in that timeline where we get all these neighborhoods. So, hold on, I'm checking before we finish it up right here in the best expansion right here. Yo, I forgot one. Warrior themed neighborhood. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Frey Island. The neighborhood. Alright. Yeah, for Hunter, I was throwing shit on the wall. Warlock could get new Dreadscarred Rift. Oh, for Priest? Imagine for Priest, especially since we got Alonza's Foul, rebuilt Scarlet Monastery. But not Scarlet. Like, they remove the Scarlet, just, it's a big monastery. Alonza's Foul reincorporates it, and he builds a neighborhood around it. So the Priest neighborhood would have a big church in the middle. Alright? That's the thing. Each neighborhood would have to have, like, a cool thing that it's, like, either built around or have the big themes. Like a landmark. In some of them. Not all of them. And good vistas. It's either about vistas or a landmark, and you kind of want to do both. I'm just double checking before we go to the Shadowlands. Alright. Maelstrom for Shaman. I put Maelstrom on here. Would that work? No, I don't want one in Deep Home, honestly. One in a neighborhood in Deep Home. Not feeling it. Don't know how Therazane would feel about it. Do we go to all the elemental planes and start a neighborhood? Do we start a neighborhood under the sea? I mean, when we get Naga, maybe. But let's finish this up in the big place. So, do we have a neighborhood in the Maw? You know, Sylvanas spent some time in there. Jailer gone. Maybe they chill out in there and they're just like, yo, we got all this real estate here. You want to buy some real estate in the Maw? Maybe the brokers take control of Korthia. Would you want to buy a house that's in the middle of Korthia and the Maw? And just like walk out to get the morning paper and you see Sylvanas picking up souls. And you're just like, yep, she's still at it. Good for her. And then you go back inside to your little home torture chamber. Like Torghast themed cosmetics. You get to see Torghast in the background. Like, yeah, I love it down here. But no, let's get to the real housing. So, Revendreth neighborhood around Castle Nathria. Love it. Being able to buy Castle Nathria as my personal house. Love it even more. I would throw parties in Nathria. I dreamed about it when the Ember Court first came out in Shadowlands. I dreamed that maybe in the next couple of patches they would add Ember Court 6 and 7, and we could throw a party in Castle Nathria. Did that ever fucking happen? No. But now I can dream it again. Castle Nathria, my house, I throw a party. For myself. Ardenweald neighborhood. Ardenweald already had like a bunch of people building stuff around the Heart of the Forest. A Heart of the Forest neighborhood around one of these big trees literally fits in the lore. So why not? Neighborhood in Bastion. I would like it. Where would it be? Oh, maybe repurposed here. Because of all the purple. Dude, you could get some really cool cosmetics from a neighborhood in Bastion. And then you got neighborhood in Mount Draxus. Maybe the neighborhood is around the Theater of Pain, right? So maybe lore-wise, since we've been gone, they've been building up the Theater of Pain. Maybe it's a real rebuilt House of Plagues. I don't know if I'd want my house in the House of Plagues. Rebuilt House of Ice. It'd be cool to see that. Maybe Shadowlands 2, we get a neighborhood. I was still thinking a neighborhood around the Theater of Pain. Maybe it's like a neighborhood built into the Theater of Pain. And, like... I wonder... I guess it would fit more as, like, apartments. I guess some people may like that for their houses. like where they just design the interior and the exterior is like already pre-built, or maybe you can design just like a few things and it's like cheaper. I don't know how they end up doing this. Maybe houses around the theater of pain, and then part of the neighborhood you can actually see the theater, like combatants fighting in the theater, so you can like look from your house at people fighting. That would be crazy. Ouroboros can't be a neighborhood, thank goodness. I don't know how you get a neighborhood in Zareth Mortis, but imagine being able to have a house that's just a ball. Like it's just one of those balls. You just walk up to your front door, boop, mm, mm, and then your whole house is just in the little ball space. That'd be so crazy. Maybe a neighborhood down here. I mean, this is the place where you could make it. They literally make our neighborhood on the floating water. Yo, I'm walking on the water. I could build my house on the water. All right, that's it. That's it. That's a rant, though. That's a rant. Where do you want a house? Where do you want a neighborhood? I'm telling you though, the racial ones I started with, I feel are pretty likely, and I think would be really good for them to do. After that, I got a little crazy, but I'm excited. I'm excited for housing. I'm making myself more excited. What it will be, we'll have to see. Uh, Here's the thing: I can get myself excited like this and not be disappointed because I'm gonna be chill with whatever it is, and I'm just having a good time getting excited about it too. So yeah, where do you want a house? Do you want it in any of the places I listed? What do you think they're gonna do? Where do you think they're gonna put houses next? Either way, I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.